Gielinor, the magical world of RuneScape. It's divided into chunks for easy use. Welcome to Chunkman Dead Die Kill, the series where I conquer the landmass of Gielinor by doing tasks and unlocking chunks. Last episode we got a whopping 5 chunks unlocked. We unlocked them by achieving another 25 total levels for a total of 1675, and then we completed 3 easy clue tasks by opening 75 easy caskets and finishing that tier of tasks, as that brought us up to 500 in total, which gave us the large spade as a reward. And then the last chunk was because of a change in the spreadsheet. We got another clue task completing 1 medium clue, which we already had. Our map expanded with a chunk where the underground pass is but the above ground. Then we also have the shadow dungeon entrance, the lighthouse, the arranging guild, and lastly a chunk with a part in sleep and another in Darkmire. Today we start off with checking out our last unlocked chunk, the arranging guild chunk. Looking at our newest chunk, I checked if we could do the fishing contest quest, but apparently we need some red vine worms from the chunk above it, which is also still locked. And then we have the Temple of Ikov, and that should be possible. So let's gear up and go and start that quest. Here in the pub in Ardoin we can find Lucian to start the Temple of Ikov quest. Lucian tells us that he wants a Staff of Armadel, which we can find in the Temple of Ikov, which is right over here in the newest chunk we just unlocked. So let's already do that, of course. And he cannot enter because the followers fear him and they put up some extra magical protection so he cannot get through. There is also a creature here, a fire creature, which can only be damaged with ice, and a lot of other dangers in here, so for that we will have to watch out. And we also got the pendant of Lucian, so we can actually get in. Here in the Temple of Ikov we can see there is a few gates and some stairs, and if we try to open this gate it just won't open, and if we want to go to the other gate our character is in great terror, so that's why Lucian gave us his pendant with his courage, so if we go to this gate then we can get through. A bit further on in the dungeon we can find a door, but it won't open, and if we look a bit to the right we can see a lever here. So let's try that lever. Let's of course search for traps, as there is a trapdoor just below it. We disable the trap, now pull the lever. Yeah, that opened the door. And opening the other door we have the fire warrior here, but we don't have any ice to kill him yet, so let's get out and let's see where we can find something that can hurt him. There's also, in the room before, there is a bridge, so let's try to cross it. There's a lever here, and there's a lever bracket over here, so we can use the lever on here and then pull it, and that will probably open this gate, right? Yep, that's that gate, and we get to an icy area with some spiders and some chests. So let's see, what do these chests have? Nothing. A few chests later we get some ice arrows. So that's pretty much going to be the way we are going to kill the fire creature. That's only 3 ice arrows. Let's try to find some more before we try to kill him, as 3 will definitely not be enough. A lot of running around later. We have 19 ice arrows. I think that should be enough. But we got hit quite a lot, so let's go bank again. And let's return with some equipment instead of the graceful Alright, time to fight the fire enemy. Apparently he's called Lazarcus. We got our magic shortbow with us that we newly made, and this is going to be the first time we're going to use it. So let's see how this will go. Okay, that went incredibly easy. And we still have 17 arrows left, so we actually took way too many arrows. Next up, there's a lake of lava, and we probably need to go through there and then up. So let's talk to Winelda here and see if she can help. Winelda the witch is going to teleport us across this pond of lava, but she needs some limpet roots, so 20 unnoted limpet roots for her, and there we go. One teleport to the other side. And there we have the Staff of Armadale. Lucian did not seem like a very trustworthy person, and Armadale is one of the gods, so these guardians are probably better trusted than Lucian. So let's maybe talk to one of the guardians. As we thought, they also called Lucian evil, and they keep attacking us if we ask for the staff. To cleanse us of the evil of Lucian, the guardian splashes us with some holy water. So okay, guess we're not evil anymore. Apparently Lucian is a necromancer that raised some of the dead to attack Varrock a long time ago. And we got an Armadale pendant to go and attack him. And he said he was going to be at Varrock, so let's just go there and let's just kill him. There's Lucian right in this cabin next to Varrock and Edgeville. Let's just kill him, as that will be just desserts for this necromancer. He says he's going to reappear in the north. Okay, that's the end of the quest. We get 1 quest point, 10,500 range experience and 8,000 fletching experience. Not sure if we are going to come by Lucian on any other quest. But anyway, that was just what we wanted. We wanted to finish the quest. That was the end of Temple of Ikov, and that means another task and another chunk. After all of the clues, that was finally another quest completed. Temple of Ikov, our 71st quest, and we also got up to 225 landmass chunks unlocked now. And then back to our map. The last chunk we unlocked was the Ranging Guild and the Temple of Ikov chunk. Doesn't really change much of what we can unlock, as all the rest was already unlockable. And the second chunk we unlocked last time was a part of the underground pass, but the above ground, which means we have now 2 other chunks, which are pretty dead, I'd say. So let's hope we don't get any of these. But let's see what we are going to get. Pick a chunk. Ooh. The battlefield! Finally! The battlefield means that we can now finally go to the ZMI altar and this part of the map just under West Ardoin. And with the battlefield, that also means we can now do the 3 Gnome Village quest. So this is a good unlock. Here at the eastern part of the maze, we first of all see that we cannot get through, so we need to unlock our newest chunk. And there we go, we just have 1 tile we can get through. And now we need to get to the middle of the maze. There we go, nice and easy. And now let's get into this loose railing to get into the 3 Gnome Village. To start the quest, we need to talk to the king. The king mentions that they are a peaceful race, and they are protected by these spirit trees, so this one in this village, and it usually has some orbs which is used to protect the gnome people. The thing is, they are fighting at the battlefield to the north against the troops of Khazard, and because they were losing a lot of people, they decided to take one of the orbs there to be protected, but the troops of Khazard actually took it instead. So we need to go and take it back. Because we are now helping the gnomes, we can use Elroy here to get out of the maze really quickly. There we go. And now let's talk to the commander to see what they need. Before we can retrieve the orb, we need to make sure that the defenses are on par, and then also we need an attack. But first of all, we need some wood for the defenses, so let's use these logs we had and give them to the commander. With the defenses now being a bit better with that wood, we now have to go to an offensive strike. There is some building here in the Khazard place where the orb is stored, but we don't really know which one. So the commander here sent 3 trackers that have some of the location, and then we can use one of the ballistas here with those coordinates to breach the compound and retrieve the orb. So let's go to the first tracker and see which information he has. The first gnome gave us the height coordinate. The second one was captured and is in jail, but he should be able to give us the other coordinate. And he gives us the y coordinate, so we now have the height and the y coordinate. So now we just need the x coordinate from the third tracker. The third tracker gnome has lost its mind with all of this war, so we are pretty much going to have to guess the x coordinate. Time to fire the ballista. We have 4 options for the x coordinate, and let's try the 0004. Then the height and the y coordinate we know that are right, and let's fire it. And we did hit a building. So let's see where we hit and let's retrieve that orb. This seems to be the wall we hit, so let's climb over it. Now up the ladder and just steal it from the chest here. And there we go. That's the orb of protection. Let's get back to the Gnome King and give him back what is his people's. The king was happy with one of the orbs returning, but apparently there are 2 more and they stole it while we were on our mission to retrieve the one. So we'll have to retrieve the other 2 as well. They are a bit further on, just outside of West Ardoin. There we see the Khazard warlord we need to kill. We brought pretty much our best magic gear and some chaos gauntlets with the chaos spells, as that actually increases the max hit of our fire spell. So let's just attempt to talk to him first before we try to kill him. Let's hope he wants to give us the orbs, but I doubt it. That didn't take long, but let's just kill him. And that one dead warlord. And we got the orbs of protection back, the other 2. So let's go back to the village now. With all of the orbs back to its rightful place, there's now a ceremony to give them back to the spirit tree. And that's the end of the quest. We get 2 quest points, 11,450 attack experience. The biggest part here is that we now have access to the spirit trees, where we can teleport all over the world with the spirit trees. And we also get a gnome amulet. But that is the 3 gnome village completed. Which means that is another task completed and another chunk to pick. Another quest down. The 3 gnome village is now completed. our 72nd quest. And that brings us up to 226 landmass chunks unlocked. And then back to our map. The last chunk we unlocked was the battlefield. And that now means that the clock tower and the monastery just below Easterdoin has been singled out, and this actually also has quite a few things here. So let's hope we can unlock that pretty soon, and let's just not hope it's like Caterpie and all of the other lonesome chunks like the Karamja chunk and what the Drainer chunk was. Anyway, we got 2 really nice chunks lately. Let's see if we can make it a third. Let's pick a chunk. And we get the western part of Yanil. And that's actually a great chunk. So 3 for 3 now. This is a great chunk, not because of the quest here, the hand in the sand. We do need the other part of Yanil for that. But because there is a pub here and we need that for the bar crawl all over the map. The one thing is that how can we get here, and as we cannot go through Yanil itself, we will go from the other way. I'm not sure if we could get through from this side on the Tree Gnome Village part, but there is a fairy ring here. So this fairy ring will be really useful to get here. Let's go and check what we need for the bar crawl, and let's go do a binge. With opening up the last pub we needed, let's talk to one of these barbarian guards here in the barbarian outpost to ask if we can use this agility training facility. This part of the barbarian outpost is only for barbarians. We tried to tell him that we are barbarians, but he didn't really believe us, so to prove ourselves to be barbarians we need to do a bar crawl. This bar crawl brings us all over the continent, and we need to ask all of the pubs to give us their strongest drink. So first of all, let's go to Varrock for our first drink. That's the first of the drinks down, and that didn't really sit well. We lost a few of our kills, and apparently our character already threw up, I guess. So that's actually not the greatest, but let's continue. A lot more bars await us. Now to the Jolly Boar Inn in the northeastern part of Varrock. Let's ask the bartender for their strongest drink, and let's hope we don't throw up again. And there goes more of our stats down. And 2 drinks in and we're pretty much already drunk. Next bar will be the Rising Sun Inn in Falador here. And let's talk to Emily for a drink. The cocktail is called Hand of Death. Doesn't really bode well. Our screen is already shaking a bit. We took some damage actually, and more of our stats went down. But we're still alive. So on we go. Next up is the Rusty Anchor in Port Sarim, a Black Skull Ale. Didn't do that much, I think. We just got more lowered stats and a hiccup. Next up is the bar in the Musa Point on Karamja. Let's talk to the owner for another drink. The Ape Bite Liquor. Our character is still quite drunk, and that seems to be it. Next up is the Dead Man's Chest in Brimhaven. A Super Grog. Okay, let's see what that does. Just some more debuffs. And that's it. It's really difficult to see what it actually does now. We're just too drunk to see what it does to our stats. The bar in RD gives us a Heart Stopper. doesn't bode well. And we got 21 damage. So I'd say that was quite the heart stopper indeed. Next up is the bar in Sears. Let's see if we can damage our liver anymore. This drink is called the Liverbane Ale, so I guess our liver will not survive. And we get some more debuffs. That seems to be it. No damage this time. Now for the two difficult areas to get to. First of all, let's get to the Grand Tree. For that we need to get rid of all of our weapons, get a magic log and fly there with the balloon. Okay, guess we'll have to wait until our fire making recovers from all of the drinks, as we need 60 fire making to make the trip. Time to get to know what drinks the gnomes drink. A fire toad blast. Doesn't really sound appetizing. And again, just some debuffs and some damage. Okay. On to the last one, and that's our newest chunk. Before we use the fairy ring, we of course need to unlock the chunk, and then the code is CIQ. Before we go to the pub, let's just have a look-see if we could have gotten through the other side, but it does not appear to be. So the only way to get here is through the fairy ring. What will our last drink be? A fire brandy. That doesn't seem healthy to drink, but it only lowered our stats a bit more. So that wasn't all that bad. Our cart should now be full, so let's return to the barbarians to see if they will let us into the agility arena. The barbarian guard believes us after showing the cart to him, and he also notices that we are very drunk. So he truly believes we are a true barbarian now. As a reward we can now go through the gate, and one of the more important things is that we can now enable the option to smash our vials when they are empty. So yes, we want to do this, as this will be very useful. If we look to the mini quest part, it is in green, so that means we have finished it. Finishing the bar crawl also means we have finished another task on our spreadsheet, so let's complete that over there and then pick another chunk. Half an hour of pretty much ruining our liver later, and that's our 7th mini quest completed, the Alfred Grimhand bar crawl. With that completion, that now also brings us up to 227 landmass chunks unlocked now. And then back to our map. The last chunk was of course the western part of Yanel that we unlocked, and that now gives us an option to unlock the Castle Wars chunk, which wouldn't be the greatest but not the worst, as there are some clue steps over here. And then we have Guttenot, which would be useful in the long run, as we need it for a quest I actually overlooked when looking at the chunk, and that would be this one over here, just in the top part of Yanel. We got 3 chunks in a row, so Temple of Ikov, the battlefields and the Yanel chunk, all in the Kandrin region. Let's see if the chunk picker still wants to give us something useful or not. Let's pick a chunk. And apparently it does. We get the RD farming patch, which is actually very useful. It's not just a random patch. We actually need it for a quest. Next to that patch we also get some other things like the farm here. There's a master farmer over here, and I think there is a clue step in the mill here, but I'm not sure if it's a medium clue step or something else. So 444. The chunk picker is finally giving us some useful things to do. That's going to be all for this episode. If you've come this far, don't forget to tap that like button. Our chunk luck has finally changed from rolling all of the worst chunks to finally rolling a ton of good ones. Let's hope it keeps up next week, as we are going to continue completing the quests we unlocked this episode. As always, have a good one and see you all next week for more Chunkman progress.